Alright, so I left off talking about belts and things like that, and why I don't like them, and why I don't think that they should have anything to do with martial arts besides the fact they're an American thing. Getting a belt has been hell for me. Like I said in the other video, I've learned that they're not necessary nowadays because martial arts doesn't really have a governed body of what's in charge, and you can go and ask Rob about that, and he also has black belts in certain arts or whatever. That's not here or there. Salute to Rob on McDojo Life. Here's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All the belts in the world aren't going to decide if you are a good fighter. Alright? Let's keep that in mind first and foremost. Some of the best fighters in the world don't have belts. Alright? They may have one like this, but they don't have belts. And as I said in the other video, in Bravo I was learning Taekwondo. In Delta I learned Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which I totally sucked at, except for when we did the pugil shit. The thing about fighting, and this is very important. This is important for every martial artist that are coming before me and coming behind me. You will never truly know how good you are if you don't get to use the skills that you have learned. And that's just a fact. If you think you are great and you go out and start fights and think that, oh yeah, well, I'm a black belt in this dojo. I'm going to go out here, pick a fight with Joe Blow, and I'm going to win. You have a 50-50 chance of that actually being successful. Let's keep it real. You got a 50-50 chance. Because you may be that damn good. You just may be that damn good. Or the guy you are fighting may just suck ass. Or the guy you are fighting is very good, but it's just your lucky day. Because lucky days is a thing. Don't think for a New York minute that a lucky day is not a thing. You know, because it's an old saying that it's better to be lucky than skillful. I'm a strong believer that it's better to have a little bit of both. Now, I've been in enough fights to tell you, sometimes luck help, sometimes skills help. It's better to have a combo of both. A well-prepared fighter can still get their ass kicked. You just need to know that, because you can be well-prepared, but you don't know what that person on the other side of that battlefield knows. You really don't. You have no idea what that person actually knows. You may think you know, but you honestly have no fucking idea what that person is capable of until the fight starts. See, once the fight starts, that's when things get complicated. That's when things become the difference maker between you getting your ass kicked or you kicking someone else's ass. In most fights, 9 times out of 10, it should be a level playing field. Skill level, strength level, toughness level, environment. But let's say you are not a good fighter, but you're very well at evades and using your environment, right? That's how you win. You play to your strengths. If you look on my channel far enough back to like last year in 2019, maybe even further 2018, where I do a demonstration of the pole technique. I didn't have any partners with me, so to speak, so I had to break it down on how to use the pole technique and how it was exploited in the movie Gymkata with Kurt Thomas, because he wasn't a very strong fighter versus, God damn it, what is his name? I can't think of his name, but he's in a lot of movies with Cynthia Rothrock. His last name is Norton. So, if you Google Cynthia Rothrock, Lady Dragon, he played the bad guy. Raging Honor, he was a partner. So if you Google that, if you anything with Cynthia Rothrock, you're gonna find Billy Blanks and you're gonna find Mr. Norton in there as well. Also, they're like my idols, so there will be no disrespect from me coming towards them. But it's the same thing with Gary Daniels and them. These guys don't get the full credit of what they deserve. But when it comes to a belt, in my personal opinion, is booty, and you should not rely so heavily on your skills because you have a belt. You should rely heavily on your skills because you have skills versus having a belt. Now, a belt, it's good. You walk around the dojo, you get your black belt on, all the younger students are looking up to you, and even if the younger students have black belts, which I still don't think that you should have a black belt before the age of 13. That's just my personal opinion. 15 at best, because cockiness comes with rank and belts. When I was also, again, in Mr. Ennis's dojo, there was this kid who was a green belt. and he just thought he was hot shit. He was always talking shit to me, and I was always doing push-ups because no matter what Mr. Ennis said, I refused to call this kid sir. I did a lot of push-ups on my knuckles. And Mr. Ennis would always say, look, you gotta address him as sir, because that's how we do it around here. We respect the belt ranks. I said, this kid is every bit of 12 years old. He has a green belt, and I got a white belt. I understand that. But I also understand that if this kid met me out in the street, he'd die. And I say, half the people in this dojo, if they met me out in the street, they would fucking die. He's like, and how you figure that? I said, because everything in the dojo doesn't always translate well into the street. And I was like, I've learned this because I was a street fighter before I ever became a martial artist. And for those who sleep on street fighters, oh, your fight's not real, it's a street fight, nobody recorded it. Well, back when I was street fighting, there was no cameras in black neighborhoods. We couldn't afford that shit. We didn't have cell phones and video stuff and all that. And you have to take me at my word or take the finger, I don't care. The fact of the matter is that when you start relying on your belt as your statement, as your standing guide, you are on a false positive on that, because that belt, it means something in the dojo. It don't mean diddly outside the dojo. Yeah, I got a black belt. Okay, cool. I've also watched black belts getting taken down by people who've never had a martial art day in their life. So, you kind of got to weigh the pros and cons of that. Maybe that martial artist was good, but the guy who took him down was better, or had better training. He also might have known that the belt is only made to hold up your pants. The thing that you don't understand when it comes to belts is that, losing my candy bar. This is a scarf. I got this at GalaxyCon. It's got Spider-Man on it. But it's thick enough to be a kung fu sash. Where if I was Shogun, it would be like my obi. And if I was a geisha, it would be like my obi. So it would go around, it would just be part of the fucking uniform. But also, in the right hands, ooh, can't fake that. Damn. Well, other than just destroying my damn scarf here, which totally sucked, and I just stretched some more material. Nothing's ripped, thank God. Or it doesn't appear to be ripped. What I was gonna do before that happened was show you that in the right hands, this can be a weapon. You can choke people with it, go around their head like this. You can choke them with it. A belt can be used against you. If someone gets it off your gi and uses it around your neck, they can choke you, they can tie your hands up. Why bother with something that can be used against me? One of the sayings I've always had since grade school, since middle school, since I started fighting, since I started doing martial arts, that a weapon is an advantage that can be taken from you at any time. I can't edit that, by the way. So, a belt holding your pants up to keep your pants from falling down while you're fighting is good for that, but it doesn't mean shit to the average Joe. If you come at me and you're like, hey James, I'm martial arts champion. I got my championship belt. I'm going to give you respect as long as you respect me. But if you get me up there, hey James, I'm martial arts champion. I got my belt. I'll beat your ass out here in the streets. I'll beat your ass in the ring. First time, I'm going to do my best to walk away. But if you got one of those raw hairs up your ass and you're going to get cocky and you're like, I'll fuck you up right now, and I'm trying to go somewhere, and I'm not trying to fight you because you're a champion. No, I'm not trying to fight you because I only fight if I have no choice. Because that's what martial artists are taught from day one. But sometimes you have to bring someone down a notch. And if that's the case, if you're a champion, you're funning around your belt and you're top shit, that's fine and dandy until it's not. Because your belt is a belt. Now, it's not the same as in the wrestling world where, that belt has prestige and you are a champion. You get to defend that belt. But if you're just fighting some Joe Blow on the street who's a fan, and you kind of find out that you can't beat that Joe Blow on the street because in that ring, the guy you fought that you took the belt from, it might have been your day. It might have been your time. it might have been a simple amount of your skill versus his skill and your skill being better that day. But you come against a guy who has mad street fighting experience and you've been a ring fighter. There's a good chance that that street fighter and y'all are in the streets, it's more than likely going to whoop your ass. Just because of the simple fact that you believe that that belt has some standing in the world. Now, granted, people pay to go see people fight for belts all the time. They pay for it in wrestling, they pay for it in boxing, they pay for it in MMA, UFC, they pay for all that shit. The arenas in Las Vegas are fucking flooded with people who want to watch people beat other people's ass over a fucking piece of metal attached to a leather strap. Or a piece of gold attached to a leather strap. I learned martial arts for one reason, and one reason only. I needed to be a better fighter than the people that my uncles and other people put me up against as a child. That's it. I didn't take martial arts to get belts. I took martial arts to learn how to fight and fight other martial artists who were skillful. I took martial arts for one reason and one reason only. To become lethal. I didn't take martial arts so I can go in here and do this and Tosan and earn a black belt. No. Now things changed as I got older and got more mature and understood what I was learning. That's the difference. But that belt concept has never once went into my head other than, as just Mr. Miyagi said in the very first Karate Kid, a belt is only to hold up your pants. Because how they snuck into the tournament, it's like, black belts only. He's like, okay. And Elizabeth Shue said, what? He's my I need to translate for him or some shit. He says he does not understand the rules. So she talks about it, and the whole time Mr. Miyagi's stealing a black belt out the guy's lock out of his fucking bag or whatever, and wraps it around Daniel, and putting him in a class above the level of what Daniel was supposed to be. Let me explain that, because if y'all notice, Miyagi never gave Daniel belts with his uniform. He didn't change him. He didn't even teach him by way of dojo training. He taught him sand the floor, paint the fence, wax on, wax off. So he taught him without teaching him in the dojo. And that was awesome and unique, and it is a way that you can learn it. However, for most of us who've gone to the dojo, we've never paint the fence, sand the floor, wax on, wax off, which are blocks. Block, 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 block. The snake and the crane, out block, in block, in block, in block, in block. And then you see in that whole sequence where he does, hi, 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 hi. And Daniel's, ha, 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 ha. Okay, so he taught Daniel Kung Fu or martial arts karate without literally Daniel realizing what the fuck he had learned. Show me sand the floor. Aye, up here. Show me sand the floor. Aye. Show me wax on, wax off. Hush. Show me paint the fence. Hi. Daniel's up, hi, down, hi, up, hi, down. So he taught him. And by the time the climax of the movie comes, now Daniel's fighting 5 and 6 black belts who have been training way longer than him in Cobra Kai with no mercy. You see where I'm going with this. So what does the belt actually mean? The belt is the Americanized way of organizing martial arts so that people don't get too cocky. And so people don't go around abusing the belt power. But the problem with that is the opposite has happened. It also started doing things like, okay, so back in ancient Asia or whatever, when martial arts was on its Asia boom, martial artists did go there and do stuff like that. But it became really rough in America when martial artists who had to prove that their skills were good would go to other dojos and try to rough up the sensei. Alright? Now we know about it all in the Chinese movies about rival schools and the Japanese movies, and then even in video games with rival schools literally being the title of the video game. Asuka, or the female version of Ryu with the little Sailor Moon skirt, her, she was in the game Rival Schools after she was also in the game Street Fighter. Sakuya, Sokka. You guys know who the hell she is. She has the bob cut. And the same thing can be said also in Tekken and things like that, you know. But mostly the game Rival Schools. That one generally, you know, stands out. But the thing about it is, as a martial artist, you are more than your belt. You are your skills that you are learning. But are you learning the skills for the right reasons, or are you just being a dick? Stay tuned. I'm going to make another part.